Welcome to day 8 of fixing up this 1991 Honda Accord. We've got all the hard stuff out of the way. We're doing fun stuff now. We're doing a stereo. So the stereo that's in it is a floppy, useless garbage, crappy brand, and it's poorly installed. It's flopping around. What we're going to do is put in this period correct-ish Alpine. Now, it already has a Honda harness because this was in a Prelude that we used to have. But we need a new dash kit because we just have a big gaping hole. So let's go see if we can set this up in this Accord. How hard will it be? Okay, pro tip, if you have an automatic and you want this out of your way when the car is off so that you can work in here, you put a key in here. Now you can just move it when the car is off. So now you have some room to work with. So thankfully they did not cut the factory harness. So we get to unplug this and throw this in the trash. This didn't even have CarPlay, but it's also like just the worst quality features, power, everything. And really cool installation. We have soldered heat shrink on this one, so we're gonna be fine. We can plug this right in to make sure it works. And that looks good. You can buy these specific to your car. In this case, it's like all 90s Hondas for like $10 on Amazon. You also can buy these kits, which covers a whole lot of models, which we're going to see how it covers all of these models in years so that we can install this correctly and not the way that was. So these kits, the reason this covers all these cars is because it has pieces that some cars use and some pieces that other cars will use. For our car, 1993 Accord, we only need this. If we had like a 98 to 02, we would use these other pieces. If we had a 94 to 97, we'd use this piece. And this, we have to modify it. It has all these little tabs. And different cars use different tabs. So we have to remove E and G. E is this one, and G is the tall one right here. This will be our tool of destruction today. And then E is this small but prominent one. And you can file that down, but it's just going to be in the dash hidden anyways. Now, to secure our head unit in here, we will use this sleeve that has all these tabs. So now that this is in here, these tabs on this cage can be bent out to prevent this from coming out. And it really is that crude. That's just how we've been doing this for decades. Now, this thing is in there solid. And this, the frame is going to click into the car. These little tabs are going to just hold it there automatically. So before we do that, we want to make sure we have everything plugged in. And this is the antenna, which goes right there. Before we go put that head unit in the car, we are going to upgrade this wiring harness because this car is going to be getting an amplifier in the trunk soon. And we're going to run this remote wire to the amp. So we're going to attach a connector here. And when we install the stereo, we're going to go ahead and we're going to run the RCA cables that are going to go to the amplifier as well as the remote wire that's going to go to the amplifier. So on the harness, this blue wire that was not connected to anything is the remote wire, which is used to turn on amplifiers. And this blue wire, we're going to run to an amplifier. You can power as many amplifiers as you want after this because that doesn't actually power them, it just signals them to turn on. We have this. I'm going to shut the door. But we need this whole thing to... We're going to pass it through here without getting caught up in the, well, we don't have to worry with the heater controls because they're above, like that. And then this is going to go behind the carpet and under here at another time. But right now it's just out of our way. So this 2-channel RCA is going to go to subwoofer amp. So this comes up to here, where we will go to the subwoofer outs. There's no left and right here, so it doesn't matter. And this plugs back, this plugs in here, this plugs in here, and this is for the antenna, the radio, in case someone ever needs that. And once you're sure everything is connected the way you want, we slide this in and let these click it into place. Understanding that to take it out, we kind of have to break those. So that's why we want to make sure we have all the wires around that we're going to use. Ah, I just heard it click. There we go. Look at that. Now that is how you use a dash kit to properly mount this so that you have nice clean edges and not, you know, the silliness that we had before. So now we can put that back. And this should play, although we already know that there's no speaker in that door, and this speaker is completely blown out. Now that we have the head unit in, we can put in these speakers. We're going with some old school Alpine type S's that fit perfectly in the baskets that go in these cars. This was in the door, where we had this fine specimen. This sounds about as bad as it looked. Right now there's nothing in there, so we're gonna put this in there. And then we've got these adapters so that we don't have to cut the factory harness. But first we need to remove these panels. And voila, the door is open. If you want to see the details on how we do this step by step, every fastener to remove this door panel, check out my video where we installed the window regulator in this door. For now, let's go over the game plan here. So we have this speaker basket, and then it goes there. We have this factory connector, which is always annoying because it doesn't ever work, because this is never compatible with your aftermarket speakers. So we have these adapters that are, and then we'll plug these on. That's easy, but that's not enough. A lot of people can put just a speaker in it, but then you still have the kind of worst acoustic soundstage and rattly doors that you expect from a 90s Honda. So we're going to install a sound deadening material in this door. This is Stinger brand, Roadkill. A lot of brands, a lot of different companies make this, but what it is a butyl rubber, and so it's like sticky and malleable that basically peels like a sticker. And it deadens, it dampens vibrations, which removes echoing and road noise, and just makes your speaker upgrade even more valuable. I do this on every car. If I'm bothering to open up panels and replace speakers and wire amps, I'm definitely doing this because it's a really good bang for buck. So I've cut it into some strips, and ideally you have a roller like that, but I can't find it. So I'm just gonna kind of mush it on with my hands in chunks because it's really hard to fit a piece big enough for the whole door. And you don't need to cover every square inch. You kind of target the center of the biggest flat areas, because that's, if you think about like a drum, the middle of the drum is where you hit it and you're going to make the most noise, and if you tap on the edges of the drum, it's going to make less noise. So target the middle of your drum and stick this on. And we're going to do a few pieces. So we've sound deadened all the way across the bottom. We're not doing anything here because there's this internal bracing that doesn't rattle. And we can verify all this. We want a thud and a thud. If we compare that to this back door that we've done nothing to, we have a hollow echo tingy noise. So that's good. Now we're going to put in this speaker and wire it up. I have 3D printed replacements for this, for when you're trying to put a big speaker in there. I have a video about how I did that for the CRX, but for this car and these speakers, they fit just super. I'll have a link to that video and the window regulator video in the description. If I didn't have these, then I would either have to cut this and make my own adapter. These are well worth it. There's a few dollars online. I'll have a link to that in the description as well. That's not going anywhere. All right, let's listen to it. Diego, the cameraman, I think your phone is Bluetooth to this, right? Oh God.
Yeah.
Don't play anything copyrighted. Oh, turn it off before we get copyright strike. Okay. We'll deal with crossovers and tuning later. But this is done. We're going to put this back together. We'll do the other side. Okay, so this side we've not taken apart before because this window works. But as I remove this panel, I'm seeing all these pieces of speaker surround come out. This speaker is completely trash. Oh, and see how I only put 3 screws on the other side? That is actually the factory configuration. So that's legit. Still the vapor barrier here. So on the other side, we did not remove that vapor barrier. That had been removed at some point in this car's long life. So I'm going to remove this. I'm going to apply sound deadening through this hole without ripping this up if I can avoid it. If you comment contest, you could win these authentic OEM Honda speakers, and I'll ship them. I'll ship them right to you. I'm able to get that sound deadening pretty far down here, so this is gonna be pretty. You can see it, like I have applied strips, and we get that nice thump. So now we have both speakers in. We have the doors all sound deadened. We still have pretty whack speakers in the back. We're gonna upgrade those next, but it sounds night and day. I'm playing my friend Ken Wheeler's music so that if I get a copyright strike, he can release it. Hit him up, Ken Wheeler on Spotify and YouTube Music. We gotta do these rear speakers. Don't even worry about the weird stuff in the trunk of this car. So we've got these terrible duals in here. It looks like we've got 3 nuts holding this grill on. Okay. This is using the same 3 screw pattern as the front, so hopefully that 6 screw Alpine we have fits in here without modifying this. Okay, so this is held into this sort of plastic frame with these screws. Now never mind that this is my 3rd wardrobe change of this video. I got stuff to do. I can't be... Sometimes it takes multiple days to film something. Ooh. Now, it may look like I'm replacing an aftermarket speaker with a similar aftermarket speaker, but this dual is something this is like $30 at Walmart right now. It is not a good speaker. It is all show, no substance. This Alpine is from the late 90s, early 2000s, and was like $100 a pair back then. And you can do the math on what that might translate to now. This is perfect for this build in this era of car that we're building. And it's going to sound a lot better than this. Now you can see why if you only had $30 and your speakers looked like this, you might have bothered with this upgrade. But we're taking this out and that's never going in another car. So this is going to fit perfectly with no sort of adapter needed. The round goes to the like outside corner.
Yeah. Yeah, that makes sense.
Fiddle with it until there it falls down.
Oh.
And grab your.
Then we can finger tighten them. If only this trunk had a proper floor.
Now this one was unplugged, so I could just assume that the previous owner that wired this up put the red on the positive like a good Samaritan. Or I could Google it and get the AI answer, which is pure nonsense. Or I can find this ancient forum post from the 12 volt, which is how I learned all this stuff 25 years ago.
and confirm that blue yellow is positive, and that the previous owner did in fact use red on the positive. So that's good. So that is it for the speakers and the stereo. We think it sounds awesome, but we're not done. We're going to put a subwoofer in here, but we got this car with no trunk floor, no carpet, and no board that's supposed to go here. So we're gonna have to create our own in the next video. Stay tuned.